My name's Kate. Newly graduated from the New England Maritime Academy, stories of ghost ships had always intrigued me. Fresh out of school and eager to begin my first expedition, I couldn't have been more thrilled nor terrified when I was assigned to the SS Wanderer, a vessel shrouded in a dreadful past. Legends of its haunted nature circulated amongst the sailors, igniting my curiosity. Little did we all know, we were about to voyage into the very heart of the haunting tales. The departure day dawned dull and overcast, as though the universe itself was warning of the impending voyage. The ship's crew, an assortment of seasoned sailors, wore grim expressions. Every creak of the Wanderer's ancient hull, the flickering lights around the ship instilled a sense of dread, though most of us tried dismissing it as normal for an old ship setting sail. At the stroke of midnight, deep into our journey, I encountered my first phantom. An ethereal sailor appeared on the deck, visibly in despair, whispering cautionary whispers into my ears, before evaporating into the chilling night. I woke up shivering, convinced it was a nightmare, until the whispers echoed around me in the narrow, cold hallways. The ship began to show signs of its cryptic past. Objects started moving. The ship's bell rang without warning, and the air turned unnaturally cold at random patches on the ship. The crew, once skeptical, shared my disquiet, as the spectral interactions became increasingly aggressive. Soon, our worst fear materialized. A crew member mysteriously disappeared while on his night watch. Witnesses claimed they saw him dragged by an invisible force into the turbulent sea. The ghostly apparitions escalated. Chill winds swept across the ship without any source, creating waves in the calm sea. Paranoid and terrified, I tried to convince the stubborn captain to turn the ship around, but my pleas fell on deaf ears. Despite the clear forecast, we ventured into a horrendous storm. Pushed to the limit, the ship groaned under the fury of nature. The ghostly crew of the ship materialized, attacking the living. The ghastly figures were ruthless and terrifying, a clear product of the ship's morbid past. Inspired by desperation, I ventured into the ship's records, unearthing tragic past voyages. Armed with an understanding of the ship's history, I took a leap of faith, addressing the apparitions and acknowledging their tragic past. I pleaded for mercy, proclaiming our innocence and expressing sympathy for their ill-fated destiny. In a shocking turn of events, the intensity subsided. The storm calmed as the spectral pirates seemed pacified, fading away, leaving us, the surviving crew members, dazed, shivering, but alive. It took us days of hard work and resilience to sail the battered ship back to port. There we dispersed, vowing to bury our nightmarish journey in the sands of time. A year has passed since then. I've hung my sailor hat and taken to instructing rookies at the Maritime Academy. The tale of the SS Wanderer's voyage, however, still frequents my tales as a chilling ghost story. As for the SS Wanderer, it sailed again on the cursed sea route, boasting a new crew none the wiser of her past. The morning fog veiled her departure. Whispered sightings circulated, but she never returned to port. Vanishing again into the blue ether of the sea, the legend of the haunted SS Wanderer headed into another cycle of haunting mystery.
My name is Adam, an adventurer by heart, a mystery seeker by soul. A shipwreck washed ashore late one stormy evening, gnarled and battered by the relentless sea, made my pulse quicken. Alone on the beach, driven by a curiosity as monumental as the sea itself, I found myself drawn to it like a moth to a flame. The ship was dying. Its timbers groaned in pain, years of torment and decay visible in every inch of wood. Artificial light pierced through the decaying wreckage as I pushed open the heavy, waterlogged door to the captain's quarters. Before me lay the captain's log, just waiting for its secrets to be explored. As I started to read, late into that fateful night, the vibrations began. A cacophony of sounds, footsteps, a child's laugh, the faint weeping of a woman, doors opening and closing of their own accord. Undeterred by what lay before me, I ventured further. The crew's quarters felt eerily alive, personal belongings strewn across the floor, forgotten trinkets of another era covered in a thick layer of dust. The whispers raked across my nerves like a knife, the chilling cold penetrating my marrow. A pang of dread gripped me as I realized I was not alone. I awoke abruptly from a fitful sleep, my dreams filled with frightful visions of imminent peril. Palely wayward echoes of the ship's crew wandered the decrepit vessel, going about their duties as though time had never passed. Unable to flee, I was trapped within a spectral bubble of eternity. A terrified face stared back at me from a nearby mirror. It was the ghostly visage of the ship's lost captain detailing the story of his horrific end. That night, the spirits grew restless. Mocking taunts echoed down the narrow ship corridors, targeting me as the source of their pleat. The twisted mesh of paranormal activity and impending madness began to gnaw at my sanity. As midnight approached, a sudden revelation made my blood run cold. A cursed artifact, the root of this ship's untimely doom. Determined to bring this nightmare to an end, I scoured the ship for the accursed artifact. My body was weak, my mind near hysterics. Yet I pushed on. The ship's ghosts, wrathful, lashed out at my attempts to break the cycle of torment. With a desperate lunge, I managed to hurl the offending artifact into the consuming sea. Instantly, the spectral figures dissipated, their tormented cries fading with them as the ship began its final descent into the ocean's cold embrace. Battered and bruised, I washed up on the desolate shoreline, my heart pounding from the ordeal. The knowledge that the supernatural did indeed dwell amongst us was chilling. Staring out into the gray dawn, I couldn't help but replay the night's terror. Knowing the door between the living and the dead was terrifyingly permeable, I was forever marked by the icy touch of the other side. The lurking shadows of the abandoned vessel trailed behind me, a stark reminder of the close encounter, never to be forgotten.